Bless you. Okay, so we're going to do this problem about a union spokesperson claims that 75% of union members will support a strike if their basic demands are not met. So there's a company negotiator believes that the percentage is actually lower. So they run a simple random sample of 125 union members, and 87 say they will strike. So we want to see if there's evidence to the company negotiator's claim that the percentage is actually lower. Okay, so let's define the parameter. All right, it's the first thing you always want to do. So define the parameter. Okay, here we go. Let P represent the proportion of all union members that will support a strike. All right, so we're saying anytime we use the letter P in this problem, it represents this proportion. And again, I don't know what this proportion is. All right, we are going to think it is something and then compare it to a sample proportion and see if we think that P is still at that same number. So what do we think P is right now? Our best idea. 75%. Very good. So the null hypothesis is that P is 0.75. That's what the spokesperson for the union claims. Now, the alternative, what we're trying to prove, or really what the company negotiator is trying to prove, is that it's what? Right? And you'll always be able to find this in the problem. Right? The problem says that the company negotiator believes that it is lower. Okay? So I'm going to write P is less than 0.75. Okay? So one thing I always tell students as we start to do this more and more, when I look at my hypotheses, it should look almost identical. The only thing changes the sign. That's the sign. That's it. So every year I get students that try to change the decimals. Don't change that. Just the symbol. Okay. So let's do the mechanics. All right? I'm going to skip that, Jarvis. So you would have to do that, right? I'm going to make you do that because that's one perk for being the teacher. You got to do that. I so don't got to do that. So X is the number of successes. 87 is right. Very good. How many people did they sample? How many union members did they sample? 125. So P hat is going to be 87.6 over 125. What is it? 0.696. What's after that? 6. That's it. Awesome. Oops. 0.696. Excellent. Still with me? Still good? Okay. So the formula I need is Z equals P hat minus P over standard deviation of P. And the standard deviation of P is the square root of P times Q over N. See, you already have it memorized. Okay, so let's plug it in. So that's 0.696. And Jarvis, you can use the yellow calculator. I'm going to use MathCracker, so you don't have to use that. So you can, it's fine. Minus 0.75 over the square root of 0.75. Come on. Times 0.25 over 125. So I would only do, I'm sorry, Catherine? 0.25 is 1 minus 0.75. So if we're saying that the proportion of members that would say, yes, I'll strike is 75%, the proportion of members who would say, no, I will not strike is 25%. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the website. All right, so once I write this, and this is what you can do on Friday, once you kind of put the work down. So if you go to the website, all right, it says for null hypothesis, we're always going to pick what? Equals. For the alternative in this scenario, it is less than. What is our P? 0.75. Very good. What is our sample size? 125. Our number of successes? 87. And oh, look at that. It asks for alpha. And what did I tell you? Alpha is what we're going to use. 0.05. Remember, you don't need a PDF converter. So right by that and hit solve. Maybe you do. So cool. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'm worried, guys. It's not going. It's waiting. Oh man, all that, I was so excited. That's sad, but the ads are still going, so that's good. The important thing. Ooh, Chick-fil-A ad. Nice. Chicken's delicious. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to go to the calculator then. Sad. We'll try again. All right, did you get it? This is what Wentz has got, negative 1.368.
Still didn't get it. I got negative 18 on the calculator.
So check something there.
I got negative 1.394.
Oh. You put 0.697. Man. 39394.
Oh, I put mine right.
Yeah, he just put 0.697, not 0.697. All right, did it come back? Did it come back? Did it work?
Yeah.
It worked! Yes. Okay, so my math cracker loaded.
Did it right.
Okay, so here's the solution. All right, you can see it gives you p hat in the very beginning of the solution. Says sample proportion is 0.696. We use alpha of 0.05. There's your hypotheses. It's telling you it's a one-tailed test to the left. It gives you some more information. That's not how we do it here. But if you go down to test statistic, you'll confirm that it's negative 1.394. All right? Now, you'll notice that I have to have a p-value when I do this problem. Okay? So when I go back to my problem and I draw my curve, and I put negative 1.394, shading to the left, what is my p-value? MathCracker says my p-value is 0.0816. 0.0816. Okay? Now I want to pause here for a second.
Where are you getting that?
Sorry, Yorith? So did your MathCracker load?
Yeah.
So if you go to, or you see where test statistic is? If you go down, the next section says decision about the null hypothesis. It should be using the p-value approach. The p-value is 0.0816. You got it right there. Oh, there's 4. There it is. Oh, so you must have done something. Did you put greater than? You put greater than. So yours is going shading to the right, so you need less than. All right? So if you change that, it should be good. But you can also just do 1 minus what you got, because it's the same thing. Okay, so hold on. You're getting ahead of me, okay? Is there a question over there? Cameron? The p-value? So from MathCracker, it's in step 4, if you keep scrolling, where it says using the p-value approach, the p-value is 0.0816. So right there. Okay? That's really the only reason I'm using MathCracker, is to give me the test statistic, the z-score, and to give me the p-value. And if you want to do the shaded area, if that shows up on your, I don't know if it does it show up on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, sick, MathCracker. So you can use the curve if you want. Okay? Okay, so now you guys are already getting there, which I love. if our alpha is 0.05, when you compare the p-value to the alpha level, and so you just saw this, that the p-value is actually above the alpha. So I'm going to do that again, right? If you have 0 as the floor and 100 is the ceiling, and our p-value is 0.05, just above the floor, where is 0.0816? Just above that. So that means that we do not have enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. All right? So I'm going to write my first statement, which is, with the p-value, I think, Daisy, you were asking about this on the previous problem, with the p-value being above my alpha level of 0.05, I am going to fail to reject the null hypothesis. You could say I'm not going to reject it. That's fine. I just don't want you to say accept it. That's why I go to that length to not say I accept it. All right? Because again, I don't know if it's right. But right now, I don't have enough evidence to tell me that there's something better to use. So I still think the union spokesperson's claim of 75% is the best idea of the rate of union members that would go on strike. Now, what I just said is going to be my next sentence, right? Because that's the context. You'll see there's no context in that statement. So I'm going to write, there is not enough evidence to claim that the proportion of union workers who would go on strike is less than 75%. All right, and so I'm always grading you on that context piece as well. So if you just put the first sentence, Saul, and stop, you won't get full credit. You'll get almost all the credit, but I need that context piece of what are you saying about the problem. Okay? Okay, who has questions about this?